Thanks so much, guys. That was brilliant. Sarah here from Cool Foods. I was just wondering about the digital side of things. We obviously use digital a huge amount because we have very limited budgets. And recently, what we're finding with a lot of the algorithms and everything is that like paid is becoming is being pushed a lot more by all the digital channels, and we have quite strong organic reach currently, but some of our kind of advisors and people we're speaking to in the space are saying that, you know, algorithms are going to keep on bringing down your organic reach all the time and forcing you into paid. So it's a challenge that we're facing, and just wondering how you guys have come up against that and how you've kind of overcome it, hopefully, or is it just about pumping money and how you can get around that organic paid problem?
Hi. Yeah, as I said earlier, we're kind of late to the game with social media. I started doing it myself, taking shocking photographs of the product, and we decided. Oh, let's go. Hello. Yeah, and we decided pretty early that we needed to hire someone in-house. I got a marketing agency to do it. They were too expensive and they weren't really on message for us. So I have a fantastic girl who's doing it now. I would say what we've done literally over the last 9 months is we've tried to push as much as possible on people as the algorithms are getting stronger and stronger and pushing us out. We have been building that old media Facebook, and we're up to 50,000 organic followers now. So we're kind of pushing that side, and Twitter would have died if not for Donald Trump. But we kind of try and get on all of those things. What I would say to you is to get out as soon as possible and try and push it up there, and then hopefully your budgets will rise. And our budget has actually risen, so we can kind of be one of those guys at the moment, you know.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Anybody that says that social media and digital media at this stage is a cheap and an easy way to do things it's not true anymore. I mean, it's a very expensive and getting more expensive way of promoting your product. But it is the way to target millennial consumers. It is the only way that you're going to interact with them as a brand. And the key for us has always been going slowly and making sure the interaction levels are high. It's great having huge numbers, and you see big brands who got it wrong massively by just buying followers. And you can look at their interaction content on stuff, and they have zero interactions with consumers. We would rather have a smaller number, a targeted number, who become brand influencers for us. But building a brand is expensive, very expensive, and it's social media and digital media is getting more and more expensive, so it's just the nature of the game, really.
Just a really quick follow-on to that. When you talk about kind of how your budgets have changed without, you know, giving us your marketing spend on it, like in terms of how quickly that had to scale up from like, you know, thousands to tens to hundreds of thousands as it kind of goes, how much did you need to feed the beast on that?
As much as you can afford. It really is, as Damien said, the best way to communicate with your customers. We really didn't have a media plan up until about a year and a half ago, and we're 17 years old, so we're a bit behind the game. But we had to catch up pretty quickly as we got respondents. But as Damien said, it's the best way to get your customers. And if you can't afford to put out billboards, I would definitely be throwing money targeting your exact audience that you want. People who want to drink healthy products, eat healthy products. If you're in that healthy space, which I know you are, just target them that way and let them know you're around. And the other thing as well is once you do target them, you've got to let them know where you are. So if you're kind of starting up, make sure you put a list on your website so there's a link that people can actually go, wow, I really like that product, where can I get it? If you contact them and they want it and they can't get it, that was a waste of money.
Yeah, and look, it's, again, on social, we're moving from word interaction again to video and imagery, so it's moving all the time, and we now use a lot of video creation. Twitter is fine, but we use a lot on Instagram, Periscope, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and direct interaction and Q&A with experts to answer questions from consumers. But a lot of the time you can target as much as you want and you will not get the result. I'll give you a random example. We were a brand ambassador for the Movember charity 2 years ago. And we thought it'd be really cool. At the time we were on Virgin Atlantic Airlines. We were going to send a pot of ice cream to space. Still on YouTube, Google it, it's great. So we thought this thing would be absolutely huge. Send a pot of ice cream to space. We worked with University of East London and sent the ice cream to space on a weather balloon. Beautiful imagery. Sent it out to all of the content creation websites, and they all said, "This is amazing." But some guy sent a pork chop to space yesterday, and so we're not going to promote this. So that's kind of luck of the draw. Just be focused on it, spend in the right places, and make sure your content is amazing. People, like the shoddy, amateurish videos and imagery doesn't cut the mustard anymore. 4 or 5 years ago, yes, now your imagery and content need to be pristine. Yeah.
Just to back up what he just said there, I recently tracked down a really good videographer to do our videos. There's no point in doing it yourself. It's, you know, we've gone beyond that stage. But yeah, I would definitely, when you say thousands to 10,000s, we're still on thousands. We're not even 10,000s, 100,000s. But yeah, content is really essential.
David Phelan, Proximo Spirits. Gary, Damien, just two fantastic stories, and one of great persistence and one of tremendous innovation. Just a question on, you haven't mentioned too much on finance, and I'm interested to know, without giving away everything, but just in terms of how you're managing the investment strategy going forward. Is it all organic, or do you have a plan to kind of scale up and as it grows?
Yeah, we sold everything we owned first and foremost, then begged, borrowed, stole from everybody we knew second, and then we went out to the angel investor community. And luckily, I think being Irish in London certainly helps, and there's an incredible network, the IIBN, Irish International Business Network, and using Board BN Enterprise Ireland and getting introduced to people that know what they're doing. Because we didn't when we went out to our first angel investment investor. Luckily, like if we'd gone ahead with it, because we were told you need loads of money, you'll end up giving away half your company if you don't get it right and get the right advice. So we funded so far from the angel network.
Yeah, in our case, at the start, I was buying and selling the odd apartment, and we all know how that went. So I sold, I think, 2 apartments and threw money down into a black hole that was VitHit at the time, or VitStrinks back at the time. So that kept it going for the first 5 or 6 years. Then when we ran out of that money, and it is expensive building a brand, I went to family members and I sold them a small percentage of the company, and they were the only ones who believed it would actually work. So thanks to my family for that. We're now totally self-financing. We don't have any loans with anybody. My family were all paid off 5 or 6 years ago, so it's a great place to be. I'm not too fond of banks, I don't mind saying it. And I think they're about as useful as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition for young companies coming up, because they're quite risk averse, certainly after what's happened to banks over the last while here. So all of that kind of angel investing and the online communities now are great ways to invest. We did raise a small fund about 2 years ago online, and it was very successful. All those guys have all been paid back now. Our next stage, we kind of haven't got to that stage where we need to start asking for more money. It might happen in America in the next year or two, because America does become very expensive. So, but for now, we're self-financing.
One more question, please. Yep, down the very end.
Hi, lads. There's both brilliant stories there. I suppose I was just looking from marketing side of things. You both have really creative campaigns, and I suppose without giving too much away, I was what percentage of your margin would you spend on marketing?
Sorry, what was the question?
What percentage of what percentage would you spend on marketing of your budget?
What percentage of revenue?
Of your marketing, yeah, or just in general.
Probably up around 15-16% currently. But it's a hard one because you have to spend to win distribution and make sure it's fine. It's easy to get distribution. We could have gone into Tesco 2.5 years ago. We weren't ready. The market wasn't ready for us, but now it is. So we're confident that we will get pulled through from Tesco. Again, a lot of young entrepreneurs and business people think you have to get the distribution quickly, get in there, get on the shelf quickly. And unfortunately, these guys are ruthless, and you're off the shelf within 6 weeks in the next review, or 8 weeks, and you're not getting back in there for a number of years. So it's having the patience, and building a brand takes time. Like Innocent is a great story. It was a 14-year overnight success, and people don't realize how long it takes to build a brand.
We only got our company in a state where we could actually spend money about 3 to 4 years ago. So marketing budgets are great when you actually are making decent profits that you can actually pay all your staff and get to that stage. So about 3 years ago, we started at 5% in Ireland. Ireland is our most successful market by a long shot, and our exports are now maybe 35%. They were at 25%. So we can't really afford to do advertising in other countries, but we do probably about 10 to 12%. We have 10% outdoor advertising and another 2 to 4 on social media.